Hey guys, so first I just want to welcome you to the new year. Welcome to 2022. Today we're gonna just go over my predictions for the WWE Day 1 pay-per-view. Now this is the first time that they're trying this pay-per-view and we'll see how it goes over. I think it's kind of a cool idea. It may not always work, simply because it's not always gonna fall on a good day of the week. This year it works being a Saturday, being a weekend. But what happens when that ends up falling on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, even a Thursday, middle of the week? Not optimal for trying to do a pay-per-view. So we'll see if they're able to continue to do this. So let's go ahead and start with what has been announced for the kickoff show. And that is Cesaro and Ricochet taking on Sheamus and Ridge Holland. This was not necessarily made official, but they've built up to this with more so Cesaro with Sheamus and Ridge Holland, more so than Ricochet. But I think it's a good twist to put Ricochet in there with Cesaro. If you're going to include both Sheamus and Ridge Holland, you need to give Cesaro a partner, and Ricochet's a good partner for him. This one is really tough for me, in that I really feel like Cesaro and Ricochet could use a win, but at the same time, you're trying to build Ridge Holland up, and to do that, you need to start giving him some wins, which, to be fair, they have been doing. Somewhat at the expense of Cesaro more so than Ricochet, but as much as I don't want to see Cesaro and Ricochet lose, and I feel like they're going to give that win to Sheamus and Ridge Holland to kind of build up Ridge more, to kind of give him a lot of momentum. And being his first pay-per-view, if he got a win on his first pay-per-view, even if it was in a tag match on the kickoff show, would be huge for him. So for that match, I'm going to go with Sheamus and Ridge Holland over Cesaro and Ricochet. So let's go on to the main card then. Now, the rest of these are going to be in no particular order, as we don't really know what the order is going to be. The first one they list is the WWE Championship match. This is a fatal four-way. We have the champion Big E taking on Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Bobby Lashley. Each of these men having been added through winning a match or matches. I was a little bit leery about adding Bobby to this match, but it'll be fine. I think with these four men, they're going to have a good match. My pick for this match, I would like to see Big E retain this title. I really would. And having him retain it over three other competitors that at the top of their game, all former champions, would be huge for him. However, in my mind, I'm thinking, but how much would that push Bobby Lashley even more so if he won over these three competitors? And I feel like that's their goal, is to push Bobby Lashley, aside from the fact that he's going to probably have MVP there by his side. And that's probably going to play a factor in there. My gut tells me to go with Bobby Lashley. So that's what I'm gonna go with. I don't know who necessarily takes the pin here. I feel like this is probably going to be a clean finish. As far as that goes, I don't think anyone's going to try anything funny necessarily. This is probably going to be one of the longer matches on the card because there are 4 competitors, and that means it's going to take time. So yeah, we're gonna go with Bobby Lashley over Big E, Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens. We then have Universal Championship match. The champion Roman Reigns taking on the Beast Brock Lesnar. The main thing in this one is going to be, first of all, whether or not Paul Heyman plays a part in this, whether he even comes out. I feel like he will. I don't necessarily... I would not hate for him to go back with Brock Lesnar, provided they allow Brock to keep the pieces of this character where they are. I can relate more so to this Brock Lesnar than to any of the others. I know many have said that his other character was a draw, that it drew in money, that people wanted to see it if they heard he was going to be there. And really, for me, the name value didn't really do anything. This Brock Lesnar has more personality, in my opinion. And everyone, of course, is going to have their own there, where that's concerned. So part of that is going to be whether or not Paul Heyman plays a part in this. I know that they want to keep Roman looking strong, and that's all well and good. Roman has been one of my favorites for a very long time. I'm not as thrilled with this whole tribal chief head of the table thing, but it's a heel thing. It's kind of wearing on me a little bit. But I get that it is about him being a heel. And he is doing that well. But part of me feels like it's time to put this on Brock Lesnar, with him being a different character, and maybe give Roman a little time. Give him some time off if he needs a break, if he needs some rest, whatever. Give him that time, and then bring him back with a little bit of a twist, maybe, when he comes back. I think it's just time for maybe a little something different from him, and the title change could be a good time to do that. So, my pick is going to be another title change here. I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar. And I'm going to go ahead and say Paul Heyman does come on out. And I don't think he necessarily interferes, but I think he makes his presence felt and lets everyone know that he stands with Brock Lesnar. So that's going to be my prediction there for that one. So we then have the SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line. The SmackDown Tag Teams, the Usos, are going to put them on the line against the New Day. Let's face it, these are 2 teams who are absolutely at the top of their game. They truly are. And when they meet in the ring, they do amazing things. They put on great shows whenever they're together. Honestly, one of my favorite matches for tag team wrestling, it came at a tables, ladders, and chairs match, and it was the Usos taking on the New Day, it was the Lucha Dragons, I think, at the time. It was Kalisto, and I don't know why I am forgetting who the other one was. in that tag team at the time. But they did a phenomenal job. They really just did. Kalisto hit a huge match, going through, sending them through the ladder, and I believe it was Xavier that he put through the ladder. But at any rate, fantastic match. These guys do great things. So this is gonna be a good match. Probably gonna be up there with match of the night, if I'm being honest. So as much as I would love to see the New Day get another title reign, part of me feels like it's time to keep the titles on the Usos. I don't know exactly what ends up happening here. They could do something afterwards between Kofi and Xavier, potentially. I just feel like it's not time to take it off of them. But this may not also be the end of the feud between these two. At the same time, though, I also feel like you need to have something different. You can't keep doing the Usos versus the New Day as good as the matches are. And I don't really know on SmackDown who else you put in that picture. So for now, I think you just leave it on the Usos. And that's going to be my prediction for that. The Usos retain, and that is the first of my predictions where the champion actually retains. Okay, next match. The Raw Women's Championship match. We have the champion Becky Lynch taking on Liv Morgan. This is the only women's match on this card. Here's my prediction. So, they did this match once before already, and Becky Lynch held onto the rope, again, similar to how she did that at Survivor Series. And I know that there are several people that feel like Becky Lynch is going to end up retaining here using those same methods. But I am going to go with my conviction from before that the whole purpose behind Liv not winning on Raw that night was for Liv to get the win here at the pay-per-view. Whether or not she takes Becky's advice about Liv just being upset because she didn't think of it first and that she didn't make sure that the official saw her holding on to the rope. I feel like with Liv being hurt, or at least having been hurt weeks prior, this could give Liv even more momentum with a win here. So, I am sticking with my gut here and going with the second match in which the champion retains, or with actually the third match where the champion loses. I'm going with Liv Morgan picking up her first championship here in WWE and winning the Raw Women's Championship. Alright, the next match we have is RK Bro, the Raw Tag Team Champions, taking on their competitors, the Street Profits. Now, this is an interesting match in that you have two babyface tag teams. Raw is a little different also in that you have the Dirty Dogs, you have the Street Profits, you have Randy Orton, or you have Omos and you have just other tag teams. You have the Mysterios, who the Street Profits beat for this. You had you had AJ and Omos, who have now broken up. We don't know where that's going to go. They've not had that match they're building to. So there's more opportunities in the Raw Tag Team division. So, here's going to be my bold prediction. Okay? If I had to have a bold prediction for the night, I am going to go with RK Bro retaining these titles. Because of how many other teams are in there and how many other opportunities really there are for us. I see RK Bro potentially using some dirty tactics and maybe somewhat turning heel here. Okay? But I also no, that's gonna be it. First I was gonna say potentially seeing the Street Profits split, but if we're already gonna go with a possible heel turn here for RK Bro, then let's not add to that, right? So, bold prediction here. RK Bro retain these titles. However, I feel like they're going to use some underhanded tactics. Coming from both of them, both Riddle and Orton. Okay. Next match. Edge versus The Miz. This is going to be a really good match. These are two veterans in this business that know how to put on a show. They know how to truly get you interested and invested into a match. The thing that's going to be interesting here is one thing that I see happening. I see Maurice coming out with Miz. Okay? However, what hasn't been brought up and what I maybe potentially see happening is I see Beth coming out. I don't see her and Maurice getting involved, but I see Beth being there to kind of even the score there. End of the day, as much as I want to see The Miz end up with this victory, as much as I think I would want to see Miz come up with a victory to kind of put him over even more, because that's where Edge is at, really, in his career. And it's not like he's looking for a victory to push him into a title run, right? Because of the fact that the last 2 weeks, when we've seen Edge and Miz has ended up coming out on top of Edge. And because of that, and the way WWE usually works, I feel like we're going to end up getting getting Edge winning here. So that is going to be my prediction. However, I feel like there's going to be maybe something afterwards that's going to involve Beth and Maurice that is going to lead to a continuation of this feud, that is going to maybe lead us to this mixed match with Edge and Beth versus Miz and Maurice. So that is my prediction here. Edge coming up with the victory. Okay, so the last match, we have Drew McIntyre taking on Madcap Moss. Now, first of all, my prediction here is going to be Madcap Moss picking up a victory. First of all, that's going to be huge for Madcap Moss, coming up with his first pay-per-view match and picking up a victory. Now, Drew doesn't necessarily need a loss. He could use a win, especially on a pay-per-view. But you have to consider that Madcap Moss is going to have Happy Corbin in his corner, right? Which means he's going to have some help. Drew McIntyre is probably not going to have that help. Because of that, I feel like Madcap Moss is going to pick up the victory, but this may not be the end of this feud. So that is my prediction for that. And those are my predictions for the Day 1 pay-per-view. Enjoy!